Hey guys, it's Nick Bosco. I'm here to talk to you a little bit about UFC 206 that's happening tonight at the Air Canada Centre in Toronto, Canada. This card, it's gotten a lot of bad reviews coming up. A lot of people are like, oh, I'm not buying it. I'm not looking forward to it. Yeah, definitely started off better with Daniel Cormier versus Anthony Johnson. But with Cormier out, they had to bump up the co-main event, which is Anthony Pettis against Max Holloway. They had to bump them up to the main card. And of course, they had to bring in some stupid interim title. They were fighting the interim title. It was a whole big deal. They took the title away from Conor McGregor. They gave it to Jose Aldo. Then they had these two fighting for an interim belt to get to fight Jose Aldo for the real belt, which to me was just kind of WWE stuff, like trying to just like the fans don't know any better, like, oh yeah, just give them a belt. Yeah, that'll make it better. That'll make it all better. I'm going to definitely buy a ticket now. Doesn't make any sense. But that's what happened. And then, of course, now Anthony Pettis has missed weight. He'll no longer be eligible for the interim belts, but Max Holloway will. So if Max Holloway wins, he will get the interim belt and the shot at Jose Aldo next. If Anthony Pettis wins, he does not get the belt, but will most likely get a shot at Jose Aldo next. So it doesn't make any sense. I don't know why the UFC does this. I guess they think that it'll sell more cards, but I mean, I don't think adding this fake belt, as people have been saying, the fake belt they're fighting for, I don't think adding that belt got anybody more interested in that fight. If you're either interested in the fight or you're not. I mean, there's a lot of great fighters on this card that are being overlooked. The return of Tim Kennedy. I, for one, been waiting for that for a long time. He's fighting Kelvin Gastelum, who's moved up in weight, so it's good to see how he's going to be without having to make that horrific weight cut that he almost never could make to begin with. Cowboy Cerrone, always fun to watch no matter what, and now he's got a big beef going with Matt Brown, although I don't think Cowboy is really beefing with him, more that Matt Brown is beefing with Cowboy. But the two of them have a little situation going. That fight will be amazing. I was thinking earlier today about like UFC's back in the day, like maybe 10 years ago. Like you either bought the pay-per-view or you didn't. Like basically you were buying it for the main event. The main event was always the one that's like people wanted to buy. Like, oh, you're buying that pay-per-view? Yeah. And the fights leading up to it were just like kind of icing on the cake. You either, you won some, you lost some, they're good, they're bad. But you bought a pay-per-view because the main event. And if the main event ended up with like a knockout in the first round, you were like, oh, just spent like however much money to buy this pay-per-view and now it's over. And I'm like sitting here, nothing to do. You are getting a ton of great cards, a ton of great fights on this card. The main card is stacked. It's stacked from top to bottom. There's a lot of great fighters on here. It's not just the main event. Oh, we lost DC. Well, DC's not that great to watch to begin with. I mean, he's a fabulous fighter, don't get me wrong, but his fights are not always the most exciting fights. But, I mean, it is what it is. It starts tonight. We'll see what happens. Last night there was another card that was on Fight Pass. Oh, Fight Pass. Oh, yeah. It was great. They were great. A lot of good finishes in that fight. This card is definitely one I think you should tune into. It's not something to be slept on, not to be overlooked. So, all right, that's all I have to say about that. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. I hope follow me on Twitter at NickBoss, NIKBOS. You can catch me at my writing on MMALatestNews.com and Fansided.com. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave me some comments if you want, and also subscribe to my channel. I'm going to try and do this a lot more often. All right, thank you guys.